Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
All right, did you hear me speak before? The whole crazy thing I just said?
No, I did not hear it. Maybe because we also have some new people joining now. Maybe you could repeat it to us, Tom.
Sure. Start over. Hey, this is Tom Sachs. Welcome to the weekly Ask Me Anything. We'll be talking about really anything, but I guess we're here to talk about the Rocket Factory. I know Matty the Kid's got some announcements that he's going to lead off with, and afterwards we're going to answer your questions. I'm also today going to tell you the backstory of one of the brands and one of the rockets that will be launching on Saturday, so less than a week from now. But before I get into that, Maddie the Kid, why don't you take it away?
Yeah. So one announcement we wanted to make, we we mentioned this in our Medium article yesterday, but we're going to be doing a bit of a Discord reorganization this week. And part of that Discord reorganization, we really want to reward a lot of the people who have been super active in the Discord, active in the community, and really elevate them to join the team as moderators. And we want to really bring in some people who are super passionate about the project, elevate them to moderator status, and really be more involved with the project in a number of different ways. And so, we have a bunch of names in mind just from monitoring the Discord, and seeing who has been active, for the last month and a half since we've been around, month and a half since we've been around. Um, but also really open to you got anybody that's interested DMing me, and we can chat more about it. But yeah, just like really excited to kind of continue to build the community, especially with so much on the horizon. We're at the start of something really special. And so we thought it would be really awesome reward for some people to kind of be able to join the team and be elevated to like a more of a moderator role in the Discord. So if you're interested, definitely DM me. We might be reaching out to some people as well, just in general. And yeah, that'll be part of the Discord reorganization this week. And then we're also gonna do some other things just to spice it up a little bit. So really excited for all of that.
I'm so psyched. I've been tuning in. I've been peering into the Discord, and I've been talking a little bit to some of you. Probably not enough, but I'm just so stoked about the level of enthusiasm. I know there was about 48 hours that we were a little silent earlier in the week, but that's just because we're preparing some other elements of our complex world, and sometimes it means we just got to like keep our head down into the paper and work. So just know that this is a journey. Um, it's I don't know exactly how long, but we have things planned for the next year, and there are we're in phase one. Phase two is coming, and like I said before, if you have a rocket, it's gonna ensure you access to a seat in phase two. That's I think all I can say for now. But I would say stay involved and get involved. But if you don't hear from me for a few days, it doesn't mean that I don't care. It means that I am with my team building the next level of functionality. Um, Question: can I talk and then go and look at the questions coming in? Can I do that without disconnecting?
Yeah, Tom, you can definitely do that. I know that before you do that, one of the things that we wanted to do is take an opportunity because you will be joining us weekly for this AMA. Is every week we want you to tell us about something that drew you to one of the brands
Oh yes.
and a little bit of background on one of the 1,000 names. I'm sure if
Right.
we keep doing this weekly, we'll still never get through all of them, but it
Yeah.
would be really cool to hear from you on those two
Sorry.
things
Yeah,
every week.
I did a whole crazy monologue on this, but no one listening. So every week we'll be talking about the backstory about a one brand and one rocket at least. maybe more, but we'll never get to the bottom of it. But I want you to sort of know and dig into my the sort of secret history of the studio through these brands, through these stories, as represented in the names, the titles of your rockets. So, I mean, we could even dig into that right now. What's on deck? Who's launching on Saturday? Gimme.
I think there's a lot of enthusiasm for the launch in general, but there's a question I see in the radio chat about the history of D's nuts.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't know, I wish that. I mean, can I DJ live? I mean, I think it's kind of like Snoop Dogg's entry into the world of hip hop with his skit on The Chronic. And if you don't know it, now you know. Go listen to it. Kind of one of the best hip hop records of all time. Dr. Dre's The Chronic, which is basically his follow up to Straight Outta Compton. And he has some pretty hilarious skits between songs. And one of the punchlines is D's nuts. And Dirty Mike has been an ongoing, I don't know if Dirty Mike J is listening today, but has been an ongoing battle with the Connecticut Department of Motor Vehicle on the whether he's allowed to have D's nuts as his vanity plate. And he's spelled it in like 16 different ways and is constantly trying to get these D's nuts with numbers and Z's and all kinds of misspellings to get away with spelling D's nuts. And so it's kind of like his hacking of the AI, of the Connecticut DMV AI that doesn't let you spell certain words. I know we've all played with like this with Nike ID and motor vehicle departments to get away with all kinds of profanities. But yeah, so D's nuts is one of like the sacred rockets.
Great, Tom. Can't wait to get through 999 more names that way.
Sorry, it's like one of my favorite ones. I don't know if I bumbled that story or not, but that's what it's about. So, what do we have any others today?
Looking at the chat, because this is really all about you all asking Tom questions.
Yeah. I'm going to try and look over the chat and see.
Here's one, Tom. Did you name them all or did you have help?
Well, I name them all, but yes, I always have help. My help comes from every direction. Sure, my studio team helps. You know, the community helps. Watching TV helps. I always get help on everything I do. I do everything myself. Lick samba, yeah. Listen to the Bob Marley cover of the, I think Gilberto Gil, classic. You know, it's a reggae samba classic. And yeah, so we are always getting help. And like, I'm just like you. I use the internet to remind me about the history of mythology and pop culture and everything else. I see there's a question about Persephone, who's the daughter of Zeus, and she's like the queen of the underworld. So she's like got a great story. If I could name them all after Greek gods and goddesses and demigods, I would. But I think she's particularly important, not just the way her name sounds, which is important, but about her story, about how she's abducted by Hades, the god of the underworld. And like Zeus, her father, kind of approved this, and this is in a way, you know, one of the origins of the patriarchy, which we're determined to smash. But she fought it, and so she's kind of like a hero, even though she was put into a shitty situation.
Yeah, I can also, just to that last question, say Tom spent way more time than anyone can imagine on those names. I would say that that's something that you obsessed and re-obsessed and obsessed over again.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's like they're pretty good. There are a couple. There are a couple of duds in there. But when I see the ones coming up, everyone's that's come up has been really good. I think, it's funny. Like there's some really great words and concepts, but then they don't work on a rocket. But in general, I looked at every time I did a name, I thought about every rocket, every perfect rocket, and I threw a few Franken rockets in together in my head to try and imagine, like, is this going to work? So I was always thinking, how do I make this? How can this work universally? And you don't really know which one's going to be assigned to which. It's kind of random, but each one I worked hard to make sure that everyone would come away with something that they would be proud of. And like maybe you don't know what Easy Skanking is, another great Bob Marley song is, but now you can Google it and look it up. You can look up Persephone and understand her history. So
those are great. I'm going to ask you about one more from the chat, but also Maddie brought this up too. I think it would be awesome if people wanted to raise hands, and I will try to call some of you up on stage so you can ask your questions directly to Tom. Tom, while we wait for some people to raise hands, one of the ones that came up in the chat that you can't Google easily, but
yes,
we have such a close relationship to is Sorry Noel.
Yeah, that I was just reading that. Sorry, so Noel is the guy who wrote all the code, but more than just wrote all the code, was just with Leandro partners in NFT Studios, was like our guide to the ethics of the studio. I think Noel has been one of our main teachers, and I'm forever grateful for. And this project over the past 5 months has been about once every couple of days, a phone call or an email starts with, "Sorry, Noel, but can we make this change?" And Noel was always like so unflappable and sweet, and would say, usually no problem, and would fix it. But I feel like forever indebted to him because there's so many times he said, "Sorry, we're making a change." He's had such a great, sense of humor and aplomb to getting everything done.
Truly a force.
But I'm sorry, but someone put Rubicon, which is so important. It's like Rubicon, if you don't know what it means, it's like the point of no return. It's like when, the Romans crossed the Rubicon River, and that was the moment that when the army crossed, they had to go all the way into battle, and you couldn't go back. So the Rubicon's and to like quote Werner Herzog on that, when you're making a movie, day one is the point of no return.
Incredible. I don't see any hands up. Maybe that means people prefer sending questions in the chat, but if there's anyone who wants to come on stage, now I see some folks. I'm gonna bring you on stage to ask your questions. So I'm gonna bring 3 up at a time.
Oh, hello.
Hey,
Hi,
Spaceman Spiff. Hey.
Hi. I'm not gonna lie. I actually just stumbled across this on stages, and it looks really fascinating. And so I just wanted to know, because I followed the server, but what's this server's main purpose or topics of discussions? Because it's definitely interesting, but I definitely came in late, so I kind of missed most of it. So I was just curious to see what the main server topics or discussions are.
Yeah.
Tom, you want to take that one? You want us to jump in?
No, I don't even know how to answer. This is like the main room, I think, but I also know that we're reorganizing this soon, so I don't know how to answer it.
Well, okay, I can say this server started out as a server where you could learn about the artist Tom Sachs and our studio and our studio code. And from there, it has now also grown to include our first Genesis NFT project by Tom called Tom Sachs Rocket Factory. So the two main things that really get discussed here are rockets and studio code. Maddie the Kid, would you add anything else to that?
No, I think that's the main gist, and then any further Tom Sachs projects will also obviously be housed in the server too. So you're in early on something special. Stick around.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, no, I'm definitely fascinated. So I will be sticking around. That was all I had to ask. Thank you for answering that. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for your question.
Yeah,
Stay
thank you.
tuned.
Stay tuned. Thanks for listening. All right. Next we've got up here Mars Yard Overshoe.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys,
Hi,
how's everybody doing?
great.
All
How
right,
are you?
man.
I'm doing awesome. And I love all the effort that everybody's putting into this. I had two questions. One was about the name origin for Hand of God, and the other one was just if you could talk a little bit about your museum and what you hope to accomplish with the museum. Thank you.
Oh, great question. So, Hand of God is what when Maradona, like the greatest football player of his generation, I think he won I can't remember, was it the World Cup? Some really important play, but he hit the ball into the net with his hands, and the angle was just right that the ref didn't call it, and he won this crucial game. And I mean, if you hit the ball with your hands, like you get a red card, you're ejected from the game. But he got away with it, and it was so weird because he was the greatest player in the game at the time, and it was all in the media, and it was called the Hand of God. But it was so ironic. It wasn't just some like regular scumbag, like mediocre soccer player like me hitting it in. It was like the best in the game, and he was considered almost a god in his day because he was like he is kind of an immortal figure in the game of football, and for him to like do this kind of cheat and get away with it was almost like something of the gods themselves. So that was I love that moment in all of its corruption. Was kind of magic. So the rocket museum I'm really excited about. As you know, when you launch your rocket, you have a choice. You can have the rocket packaged up in a display cabinet, neatly sent to you, and you can just do it as you like, display it as art or whatever. You can have it shredded, and so it's like the rocket's gone forever. Or you can donate it to the museum. And I'm really excited about people. I know I've already spoken to a few people who are donating to the museum. What's going to happen with the first 100 rockets that are donated is we're building a large cabinet, like a 10-foot square cabinet in my studio. And your rocket gets displayed permanently in this museum. With your name, or you can say anonymous if you want, on the plaque, and a little plaque about the launch and the name of the rocket is all on display. And then this, I can't promise because it's not done yet, but my intention is that maybe this ends up in a museum or something like that. We have a museum in the best collections in the world, so it's not outrageous to say that we will get it there. So if you put the rocket in the cabinet, you could wind up in a museum. And there's a question that came up. The NFT, no, the NFT is yours to continue to hold or sell or do whatever you want to do with the NFT. We really worked hard to try and bond the two, but it became prohibitively complex. The NFT is a work of art, and the rocket is a work of art. They're together forever conceptually, but if they take different paths, including being shredded or separated from the NFT and in someone's personal property, I can't control that, so why fight it? So they're separate. But I'm really excited. I hope that people choose this option. I hope that people choose the shredded option. I hope that people choose take care of the rocket themselves and be custodians of that rocket option. They're all good.
I also just want to add, some people have been asking, like, if you donate it, what happens to the NFT, or if you
Yeah.
shred it, what happens to the NFT. No matter what option you choose, you always have the NFT. This is only relating to what happens to the physical that you redeem through the launch option. So if you shred it, if you shred the physical, donate the physical, or you keep the physical, no matter what, you still own your NFT.
Yeah.
Very, very good point. Matt.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great.
Well, thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
Jacob, you're up next.
Thanks, team. Glad to have the AMA. Thanks for doing it. So my question was also kind of about the donate feature. Is will the would we be able to ever see the rockets in the cabinet, or is that only if they go to a museum? Since I guess it's in the studio. And then do we have to decide like the day that we launch the rocket?
You do have to decide the day that you launch the rocket.
Shit.
Um,
At the day you schedule your
Yeah.
rocket to be launched.
that's an important distinction. Yeah, the day that you schedule it is the day you decide.
Okay.
You will have an option to see it, because my intention in building this is that you'll be able to, like, it'll be in a museum so that it'll be public. Maybe I don't know, maybe we'll have a little physical rocket museum where you can go and visit it. I would rule that out. Maybe it's in the studio, and the studio's pretty private because that's where I'm working. But I'm not opposed to people coming and seeing it if we can organize it. I don't want to promise that and then not be able to deliver it. We're also working on something in the metaverse, and it'll be on display there. But in terms of the physical rocket cabinet, my intention is to do my best efforts to getting that into a public space, like a museum or something like that. And just so you know, when I say something like best efforts, I do everything to deliver on that. Our motto is to under promise and over deliver. That's why I'm not promising anything, but I have a pretty good feeling and some good conversations going with that.
Oh, I believe you. And I wouldn't expect to just open your private studio, but I would like to come see my rocket after launching it if I donate it.
I promise you this. There will be a way for that to happen, because I'm absolutely committed to that happening, and that would be a condition. So, for example, like, I have a conversation going with a major museum, like maybe one of the most important museums in the world, and it would be a condition that it would be on display publicly, often, frequently, so that it wasn't hidden away in some ivory tower in some rich person's house. I want it. This rocket is made by donations from the public, so it must in some way be in the public. And as soon as that isn't, I think it's going to be really great if I can say, yeah, this is going to be the Museum of Modern Art, a permanent exhibition, which I cannot promise because I don't have that deal yet. I'm sure that would motivate everyone, but that's what I'm aiming for. So we'll see.
Because I've got 5 days to decide now, Tom.
No, I know it's fucked. It's not a great decision to make.
No, I thought this was going to be an easy. I walk away with the rocket potentially, but now I got to decide.
Yeah, you could walk away with a rocket. That was not a bad decision. But once you walk away with a rocket, no takesies backsies.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your questions. That's the question of the day, by the way.
The only other thing I'll add on the launches, since I see some people asking about like timelines and such. Yes, there's no time limit set just yet, but it won't go on forever, and there will be a point in time when you will have to, launch your rockets. So that's, in the works.
Do we want to hint at what we think that's going to be? I know we don't want to commit to it. Do you want to give people a sense of scale, like days, months, weeks, years?
Well, it's not tomorrow, and I don't think it'll be years either. So it's somewhere in the middle.
Right.
I don't think
okay.
Yeah, but it it is thought of already, and there will come a point in time when you will need to assemble by.
So that means
we
that
know
it's
the
that it's going
date.
to be, yeah, and it's getting measured in months. But I can promise you this: it will not be a surprise. You will
Yeah,
have
you'll have
ample
plenty of
time.
time.
You'll have ample time, and no one will be get left out. 'Cause it's not about, we don't want to be dicks about it. We just want to be fun for everyone, but so that we can provide future functionality to other phases in this project, and there will be a need to close that window at some point.
Yeah. And the only other thing is, we mentioned this in the article yesterday too. The more active and the more you participate, the earlier on, typically that's been rewarded. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah, for real.
Samuel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey,
Yes, we can.
All right, cool. Hey, Tom. Hey, team.
hey, Samuel.
How are you?
Good.
Question
How's it
which
going?
I also put in the chat, but it got snowed under because it's so fast there. Wondering whether there seems to be so much in the works still, and we're early in the project, and this has been sort of hinted at in previous AMAs, etc. But is there sort of how the test crew members who sort of didn't mint originally, what are the options for them to participate beyond being part of the community, making our own art, continuing doing art? There's also people from the community starting their own NFT project, but sort of to put it bluntly, are some of us priced out at this point, this early in the project, or is there?
I think that's a great question. I think we're the priced out thing sucks, and my heart goes out to you. I'm sorry, but it's no, just because it's like I've been there and I know what that's like. And as Maddie just said, people who are involved from the beginning will always be prioritized. So there'll be future functionality that that. Tell me if I'm right. Can I say this? So I'm just going to say it, and you guys are going to correct me if I'm wrong. There'll be future functionality that will be available to those original test patch holders. So hold on to that patch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, we can say that.
And
Cool.
I can't tell you what, but you'll have another chance.
Great. And also, I'll just keep sort of participating in the airdrop challenges and see what happens there.
Yeah, I think that's good. But in terms of that patch will continue forever, as long as this project is running, and as long as we're providing new opportunities that like patch holders. This project's all about the patch holders, and we just announced the 2 new patches, which is for a much smaller group. Only 10 people are getting the 10. Only 10 wallets are getting the 10 bullets. The first 10 launch patch, and then the 8.8, which is I don't know how many, is that a couple hundred people who assembled on the first possible day got the 8.8 patch. So again, these are we're rewarding these individuals, and I think that we'll continue to work on the community, because I think it's great that people are so pumped about this project, and it's frustrating that people are getting priced out. So we're always like trying to find ways to authentically keep people involved at all levels. And you'll see that on phase 2. You'll see some things surface there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
2 things.
Having lots of fun just being part so far. So thanks for that.
Of course.
2 things I just want to add on to that based on questions I'm seeing in the chat. One of them is on patches. The patches will be sent this week before the launch on Saturday. So we'll make an announcement when they're airdropped. That will happen this week. As we said, they're non-transferable. We really don't want people selling them. We are discussing. We've obviously seen a lot of people talking about, patches in cold wallets, hot wallets, the issues they're having. Don't worry about having patches in different wallets for the time being. We're discussing options internally on how we can do it eloquently to maybe get some patches in your guys' same wallets. but just don't worry too much about that for now. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was just we know on the pricing out stuff, there will always be ways for people to be involved outside of just being a rocket holder in the community, and also just to stay tuned for phase 2, because being a rocket holder, of course, and being involved in it will give you the most benefits and all of that good stuff. But there will be opportunities for people who were priced out of this project to be involved in future phases and own some Tom Sachs NFTs.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. That's good. Hey. Questions? Hello? Anybody there?
I don't think they can hear you, Charlie. Here, try speaking through my phone.
Just to jump on what Matt was just talking about with the patches, like in Tom's studio, I've gotten a few patches from Tom from from participating in something, and it's like it's something that you're meant to have for forever, and it's something that you earned, and it's something that is going to live on for infinity. And the same is with the patches for this whole project, and it doesn't matter where the patch is, which wallet it is in. You'll never be shut out from like the utility that it brings, or the memory that you participated will always be there.
Very well put. Yeah, the utility definitely would not be impacted just because it's not in a wallet with another one. Cool cat.
Hi.
Each is yours.
Hi. So for those of us who aren't going to be there on Saturday, super stoked you guys are live streaming. Thanks for that. Is there going to be any like merch opportunity for astronauts or people that aren't going to be there but are maybe watching the live stream?
Yeah. You're hungry. Hold on a second. I've got a hungry little boy here. Guy Louis Armstrong Sachs is hungry, and can you read this cheese stick right here? You want Baba? Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. This is the only thing more important than the rocket factory. Okay, I'll heat up a Baba for you. Yes, there will be a merch opportunity. We're going to have some merch at the launch, but we're also going to have merch available after the launch on the web store. Or
we're working on that. Yes. Don't worry, astronauts. You're all going to get access to that merch. It's not going to just be exclusive to the physical launch. We would not do that.
Yeah, never. I mean, I think that like merch is like, I live for merch. It's like such a great way of like showing your connection with a project. So that's always going to be possible. Don't worry. And I think we've got some really fun surprises in store in that department.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tater. Hi.
Hello.
Wow, double rockets. Look at that.
Trying to hack together a pentagram, and it kind of works and it kind of doesn't. But yeah, first just wanted to say thank you, because this has been awesome as an experience, and just kind of like drifting through an unknown, like not really knowing what's going to happen, like limited roadmap, and it's been that level of surprise has been like really satisfying and different.
Thank you. We're working hard. We'd love to hear it. Every keeping things fresh every week is definitely a challenge, but it's really, really fun. The highlight of my week is spending Saturday night writing Sunday morning.
The unknown it's an uncomfortable place, and it's a great place to be. So even as we kind of discover it, So just two quick questions, and then I'll run out because I got to go grab my kiddo from school.
Thanks.
But I'd love to hear a little bit about Sweeten. Something we haven't, at least I haven't seen too much about or heard too much about. And then the second thing, if there's time, is there any thought to returning the shred bits to the owner?
Yeah. So great questions. Okay, so Sweet and Low, of all the brands, is the brand that I have the least personal connection to. I mean, I met the man who invented Sweet and Low, Mr. Eisenstadt out in Rockaway. I went to school with his daughters, and really nice guy. But I chose it for two reasons. One is because it is a white powder, and white powders have helped take me to other dimensions and to help me see that there are things beyond this reality that we don't understand, but that exist. So white powders have always been the vehicle for taking me to those other dimensions. And that's what's helped me to build projects like the Rocket Factory. So, drugs are but a window to what we can achieve through work. So please don't take this as me saying, go and do drugs without supervision. Do them, but do them in a safe place. Do them under the supervision of a doctor. Do them with a shaman. Do them with a safe setting. And drugs help us to see that there are other realities that are just as real as this one. We just don't always have access to them. But more than anything, I chose Sweet and Low because it's pink. And if you look at the rarity chart and all the rockets next to each other, it's like the one color that's different from all the others. It's like the one really blended color. I mean, there's green too, but like it's the one that really pulls it all together. So like if you have a pink component in a Franken rocket or an all pink rocket, you'll see that it's simultaneously different from the rest, but gives balance to the whole thing. So like to me, Sweet and Low is like really one of the anchors of this whole project, conceptually and graphically. Second question, shredded means shredded. Shredded means completely destroyed. No, you don't get to keep it. It's just gone. We were talking about, and I would like to provide this. I don't know, guys, can we promise this one? That there'll be a video of it being shredded attached to your NFT. What do we think about that? Can we promise that, or can we say that we're looking into that?
Yeah, the way I think it'll work out is it'll be tied to the video of the launch. It'll be like
Right. It'll be the same. It'll be like an edit.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
What do they call it? A prologue
Is that right?
at the end of a book? Epilogue?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Appendix?
Epilogue? Epilogue. Yeah, that. It's gonna be that.
Great questions, Tater. Thank you. I hope that answered them all.
Next, we have another question.
Yeah. Bringing some people on stage right now.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Samuel. Samuel, are you back with another question?
I'm back with another question, if that's okay.
Of course.
A less selfish one this time. Tom, could you speak to the ETH in the Rockets zine, if that's just sort of crazy visionary or a super nice accident, and if an accident, if you can tell what it signifies.
So are the ETHs in the Rocket zine? So sorry,
Yeah,
what do you mean?
your rockets ends with ETH, which is also
Yes.
the.
Oh, yeah. That is a funny coincidence. I didn't even know that ETH existed when I made that piece 4 years ago. Did it even exist? So, that's fun. Yeah, well, that is the magic of the universe when stuff like that lines up. No, what I was that piece, the title of that piece is Rocket, and I wanted it to be like, I was trying to say rockets, but I'm such a nerd that I have a lisp in my voice, and we even provided a mouthpiece, a Jodie Foster mouthpiece that made you have a lisp, so to sort of fully embrace the maximize the nerd effect of Rocket. What do you mean? It's how you talk. What do you mean? Oh yeah. My wife teases me that we had dinner once with Christy Turlington, and I was so starstruck, and I said "Hi, Christy. I like rock." So I was so starstruck by this supermodel that my nerd flag was flying high. So yeah, but that piece, the Rocket cabinet, is something that I've been working on for many years, and I look forward to someday. My dream is to display that cabinet alongside this new cabinet that we're going to make with the community, where you have that rocket. And if you look, there's even a Scotch rocket in there. There's some of these rockets have like their antecedents are in that piece. So if anyone has any doubts of my authenticity, you can see it in that piece pretty clearly.
Cool. Thanks. See you in Hamburg.
Yeah. Thank you,
All
Samuel,
right,
for making
right
that
on. Thank you.
connection.
Yeah, that's awesome coincidence.
Love it. I'm going to be highlighting that coincidence now.
Yeah. We should find out where ETH was in its development when that piece was made.
Yes, definitely. That's going to find its way into things.
Yeah.
Speaking
Very
of
cool.
Hamburg, we do see questions in the chat if there will be any rocket launches that are around the same time as our fourth space program mission, which lifts off in Hamburg, Germany on September 18th. What I will say is our full launch calendar will come on Saturday. And if you've been reading the Medium articles closely, you will see that there will definitely be locations revealed in Europe. So I think I'm telling you everything without telling you everything, but tune in for the full schedule this Saturday.
Wow. But yeah. I'm dying to say, but we'll just have to find out.
I think, guys, we're kind of getting towards the end. Matt, Charlie, just turn it over to you if either of you feel like there's anything we've left uncovered before we leave everyone.
Nothing from me. I mean, if anyone has any other questions, keep doing your thing in the Discord chat. Look out for some more announcements for us and some action this week leading up to the launch. And also get excited for the Discord reorg and seeing a few new friendly faces as your moderators.
Yeah, we can't wait to grow our moderator team.
Yeah, I'm super psyched to keep you guys getting more and more involved and driving this thing and steering it. I'll be here I think, is this the same time we're going to do next week? Aram, I know that I'll be in Germany.
Yes, we're going to keep the same time. Okay. Unless for any reason the Discord tells us this wasn't an ideal time and more people would prefer to join at another time, that kind of feedback is also welcome. But until we hear otherwise from all of you, we're going to stick to our weeklies at this time.
And think of questions next week. I think we should use it as an opportunity for a lively discussion to geek out about details from the history of the studio and how it relates to the projects we're doing right now, how we are going forward in the future with new things. So don't be shy. Thanks for tuning in. Keep your stick on the ice.
Thanks, everyone.